Hello, everybody. Slightly special episode today, Tamaine.
Yeah, we made it. 100 episodes, a century. Centenary?
Episodes.
Centenary.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because it feels very quick and very long.
Yeah, 2 years has gone by really quickly, but...
Is it 2 years? Are you going to someone's going to tell me now it's 5 or something? Is it two and a bit? Two and a bit.
Flew.
I want to start first of all by saying thank you to everyone who's listened to the podcast over those 2 years. I think naively when we leapt into this, I certainly underestimated how hard it is to put on a good show, to have good conversations. And I think we continue to learn and develop, and we've had amazing support throughout. And yeah, just thank you for putting up with it and hopefully enjoying the things that we make here.
Yeah. And thanks for all the comments on YouTube and all the DMs, and all the feedback. Kind of helps us grow.
Yeah.
Gives us a bit more confidence.
Yeah.
Well, me anyway. Don't know about you, got too much confidence.
I ain't got no confidence, mate. No. Yeah. So you read the comments, you just don't reply to them. Are you just too big for that?
I replied to the comments on Instagram, T is making money. But YouTube, I'm working my way up to replying to the comments. I'll be there soon.
You're such a shill, mate. You shill out your Insta, but you won't reply to people. You just like the love, don't you? You won't reply to the feedback.
I just like the clout and the love.
Yeah, well, we got a special episode today for you because we've got some questions. I haven't seen what questions we're going to be asked, and on the basis that there's champagne glasses in front of us, I imagine. What time is it? Is it 11 a.m.? It's 9 a.m.
It's
some champagne glasses.
9:45. We need some champagne garçon.
Is it no secco, mate? Will?
It's no secco.
Garçon, I need a refreshment.
While we're doing thank yous as well. So this is Will. This is one of the producers of the podcast, and this is his house that we're in. Oh, it's not no secco, is it?
That's actual alcohol.
Yeah. Okay, so
I find it interesting, T, that you thank the audience for giving you all of that feedback, but you don't even watch the episodes.
I watched the episodes. Stop. At the beginning, I was a little bit nervous watching our episodes. I got I guess stage fright. But now, watch them no problem. Damo told me, he gave me the best advice. He said, I got to be like Kobe Bryant, one of my favorite basketball players. Got to analyze my game tapes. So
yeah, I would say to you every week, you should watch your episodes. None of it resonated. I said, do you think Kobe watches his games back? You're like, oh my God, I'm going to watch the episode.
So now I'm like a student of the game, just like Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. And then some other thank yous. We've got our other producer, the actual producer. Well, we call Will producer. He's like...
I'm just food and drink, really.
Hospitality.
No, you remortgaged your house so that we could buy the podcast. So you've got some skin in the game, mate.
It's big, Will. Yeah,
we've got Ruth, our other producer. We've got Ben, the cameraman. We used to have a guy called Jack, but Jack isn't here anymore. Jack's Ben's boss, but Jack's onto other things. But we should thank Jack because he's the one who figured out how to make this house an actual studio, because it's not that easy, really. No. But yeah, thanks, mate. I've been told we can't drink this because we've got to interview a load of people next. But
he does what he wants.
Try and stop us.
I feel like I'm a broker again. That's the last time I drank this early. Probably a stag do, or when I was a broker, was drinking before like midday. That's the last times I've done this. Brings back memories.
Both those jobs lasted a long time, didn't they?
Well, stag do's.
No, it's not the stag do's.
I'm still going on. I'm going on one next week.
You treat stag do's like a full-time job.
I do. I've been on 11 now. I'm like the stag do king. And then people just invite me on their stag do's. They're like, you were great on that one. Do you want to come to mine?
I think it's because, even people you don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, he brings the party. Yeah.
Good vibes. Come on my stag do.
Yeah.
Didn't get invited to the wedding though.
That's mad. No one wanted...
I went to the wedding reception, but not the wedding. And so I went to the stag do, the wedding reception, but not the actual wedding.
They don't want the partner to meet you, mate, because they'll be like, oh, I see what you were up to on the stag do.
Oh, behaviour.
No, you are great on a holiday. You're like the energy you need on a lad's holiday.
Yeah, you got to have fun, man.
When you're a group of middle-aged white guys.
You got to spend some of that money. I got to encourage you guys to spend.
No, you think you've still got it, but what happens is you end up in bed flat out at 9 p.m. Whereas you're there like, let's go, bring in the energy. So it's good. Right, should we answer some questions? I think actually we've got some that have been sent in. So we're going to go to a video first of all. This is off Pete Matthew, who has been on our episode, but is also the OG finance YouTuber.
Was it a bit of inspiration for you?
Yeah, massively. Yeah. He proved it could be done. He was doing it well before anyone should have been doing it, really. YouTube was just cat memes, and this guy was rattling out finance content. And the fact that he did it for so long consistently proved that it must be something worth doing. And he's doing really well now. He's crossed well over 100,000 subscribers. I know it's great for, all of his wider projects. I think he's probably one of the most respected people in the space. And yeah, that longevity. Since we were knee-high to a grasshopper, mate.
Since we were baby pigs and he was daddy pig.
Yeah, he is the daddy pig. Should we play this?
Hi, Damo and T. It's Pete Matthew here from Meaningful Money. And I just want to say a massive congratulations on hitting 100 episodes of the podcast. It's an amazing achievement. So my question to you is, of all the guests you've had on the last 100 episodes, what has been the thing that has come out of the interview that has made you go, whoa, I didn't know that, or that blew your mind, or that really made you think? What was the one thing that out of all the conversations you've had has really kind of blown your mind? I'd love to know what the answer to that is. Congrats again to you both, and of course to the whole team, and Toothless without forgetting. Thanks again for all that you do to help folks here in the UK learn more about personal finance. You guys are legends.
I actually did Pete's 100th episode, so it may have been more than 100, but he had a celebration around how many episodes he'd put out, and I did a question for him and stuff. So it's nice that he's returned the favour there.
Nice.
Thank you, Pete. Go on, T.
Most meaningful thing I've learned.
The most mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. It would definitely be that I guess to be good at investing, it's not just about, I always thought it's just like, you need to have the knowledge, like, and know the stock market, know the different asset classes investing, but it's actually equally or even more so behavioral. So it's all about like your habits, your approach to money, your attitudes to money, like your past with money, your past experiences. So all kind of blends. So you can have all the knowledge and know everything about investing, but if you've got a bad habit, you gamble, or you're not good at budgeting, then you're not going to improve your position. So for me, along the journey of the podcast, a lot of it's been about changing habits and the way I see things. I think a lot of it started with the budgeting episode, but then also just generally like putting in habits every month, and good habits every month, like investing every month into my life, so things like that. So instead of, getting paid and just, I'll buy this, go out, go party. So definitely like behavioral is really important in investing.
One of the reasons that I've always had a behavioral finance lean on the content is the realization that it's the battle with self that is one of the hardest bits of the finance thing, because people can tell you all of the theory, but can you show up every week and consistently invest through market downturns and these kind of things? This is the thing that I think rattles people and scares them off.
Not sell when you see the market go down.
Yeah.
Stick to your investment theory.
So there's loads of times, Prosecco's tasty, mate. This is a really bad idea.
I might demand this on every episode from now on.
I know, I'm going to be hungover by 11 a.m. There's loads of times I've had my mind blown through some of the amazing guests that we've had sat right there. It's been really humbling experience, and it's really made me realize how big a topic finance is, right? But there was one conversation recently, which may or may not have come out yet, but it was with Elroy Dimson, one of the guys who literally wrote the book on market returns. And we were talking about being invested in the UK. And he just made a kind of throwaway line of people who live in the UK are already exposed to the UK market through their jobs. So there's a strong argument that they shouldn't invest in the UK at all, and they should look for international exposure. And it kind of rattled my mind a
crazy.
bit at a time where everyone's pushing us to invest more. Whereas if Andrew Craig would say, no, it's your duty to invest in the UK. And the reason the UK market has declined is because we should people aren't putting enough money in. The one thing that I've taken from the podcast is that I think everyone is right a little bit. And I think we would be better off as a world if we stopped being so tribal and, almost treating our views like football teams, and instead listen to both sides of the debate and realize that everyone's got a bit of truth there, and there's good ideas on all sides of it. I don't know why I'm turning it political. It's the liquor. But that's kind of my big takeaway there. I don't even know if that was answering Pete's question, but that's what you're getting, mate. Thank you. You want to pick some stuff out of the hat, mate?
I mean, I am the king of reading on this podcast, so let me start reading some of these listeners.
We say that, by the way, because Tamane's reading is
amazing.
It's year one level.
Let me show you now how good I am.
Yeah, we're not going to edit any of this out, mate. So,
all right, big pressure. Jake asks, how much money is enough?
It's pretty well read.
I know I nailed it, didn't I?
I've cut my finger somehow. It's like bleeding here. So I'm just going to, sorry, Jake, but I'm just going to walk.
You're bleeding all over Jake's
Use
question.
your question to
How much
wipe my
money's
finger.
enough? It's so funny. At the beginning of the podcast, I can't remember what I said, but it was...
You were talking about boats and all sorts, mate.
I think realistically, about 10 to 20 mil.
Yeah, so you've really like become more measured with that over time.
How much is enough?
Enough for what are you doing?
Okay, so
you're trying to invade a country.
I was thinking about this because you say we need more in retirement now than everyone expects. So you need like a couple mil in retirement if you want to live comfortably, yeah? But if you want to leave some for your kids, and if you're looking like assets as well, 10 to 20 mil is enough to do whatever you want. When he says enough, how do you describe enough? Because enough is like to never need to work again. Is that enough? Or like, how do you define enough?
Yeah, so Prof G has been circulating because he articulated a well thought out concept within finance of it's when the income that your assets produces on a monthly basis relatively passively is bigger than your burn. So for me, that would be, if my asset base was kicking out 6 to 10 grand a month, that's enough because I would never need to work again. So you reverse backwards from that and go, maybe you need 3 million quid, 2 to 3 million quid to produce, say, 6 grand a month. Your 10 to 20 million figure,
enough to never have to work again in your life.
If you had 10 million, what are you taking off that? Maybe 400 grand, 40 grand a month? 30, 40 grand a month? Is that what you're saying you need?
No. Maybe not, but enough. Enough is hard though. It's all perspective. I'd be happy with a couple mil because I've enjoyed myself being broke. Like I have a good time with or without money. But if you're thinking like I never want to work a day again, don't have to go back to work, can go on holidays, freedom to do whatever I want, travel whenever I want, buy a house wherever I want, you need 10 mil.
Yeah. Someone who was on here before, Ollie, who was the business founder who founded Story Learning and has made lots of money. He's almost like a mentor to me as well within this content space. And he's definitely 10 years ahead of where I'm at. And he said something to me the other day. He said, I set out with this goal to build a business that was super passive, that produced income without me working for it. And I focused on that and I built it over a 5 to 10 year period. And then when I got there, I realized that I still was working all the time, finding things to do. And the reason that he did that was because he hated his job. And when he started that journey, and his answer to hating his job was, well, let's create a system where I never need to work again. But actually, that was a reaction to just hating his job. And I think sometimes when people are saying how much money is enough, they're probably not looking at the real drivers behind that question in their own life. How much money is enough to make your kids like you? No answer to that.
Yeah.
How much money is enough to be happy in your marriage? Again, that's not the right question. How much money is enough to go on holiday a few times a year? That's a question you can probably answer.
Yeah. That's more what I'm thinking about, freedom.
So 20 mil, yeah?
No, it's a bit much. I mean, to be fair, I don't see myself as someone who would want to stop working. I'd never be like, I've made all my money out, I'm just going to retire. And when Tim Armu came on and he's like, I don't know how much he made, like, let's say like 20 mil. Then he's like, I was in a room with someone, he's like, I've made 50 mil. And he's looking at the next person who made $1 billion. And it's like, and they're all looking at the next level. If I got to 10 mil, I'd be like, I'm done, I'm happy. So
yeah, but I think the thing we know about money is, and from people who've made lots of money, there's never a point where they go, there's not many people that say they've got enough. There's always a bigger boat, mate.
Yeah, not for me. I just want to go have loads of fun, play basketball, go on holiday, go watch basketball games, go on some boats, get some yachts. Not own some yachts, just, go on some yachts, have some fun.
Yeah, I think you need to think about what's enough for you. Next question. Oh, sorry, I'm taking your job here.
You need to behave,
Getting
mate.
blood all over it as well. Cut finger.
Work hazard pay. Luke asks, what percentage of your This is great. What percentage of your podcast guests to date do you both think you could beat in a fight? You don't have to mention any names.
Oh, I'm bringing names, mate. I'm bringing names. Let's start with it's easier to say the ones that could beat us up because there's only a few of them.
The Louis
I'm coming elbows across the table for most of them, mate. They wouldn't even see it coming. I've been boxing now for 2 to 3 years, so I fancy myself. I feel Tom McPhail, he would batter us.
Is that he looks like
a bit like
Louis Theroux.
Jacked Louis Theroux.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of deep, wiry strength.
Like a climber's strength.
Yeah, climber's strength.
Climber's strength,
I feel
yeah.
like he'd grip me up and just...
Oh, grip you up. Bloody hell. No more Prosecco for Damo getting gripped up by Toby Phil.
And he's got a lot of reach.
He's got a lot of reach. I mean, I fancy myself against everyone that comes on the podcast, only because I live in London and I wear a lot of jewelry, so I'm just pretty much ready to go 24/7. You've got to be like head on a swivel around here. So I do a lot of calisthenics. I fancy myself.
I'm trying to think.
That's my honest answer.
But no, I mean...
But one of them blatantly is like a secret boxer or secret black belt, and I'd be like, have you, and then next thing I'd be unconscious.
What do you remember Martin Wolf? Do you remember Martin Wolf and Edward Chancellor wanted to square up against
each other? Yeah, not against us.
Yeah, and he said he'd get inside my reach and batter me. I think Martin Wolf was tasty. He'd beat you up with words. He'd break you before you got into the ring.
What about Gary Stevenson? He's that's what I was thinking. Scrappy. Yeah, scrappy. He come at you with like aggression, I reckon. Yeah. He might intimidate you out the fight.
Yeah. I mean, he has got some energy about him.
It's energy, yeah.
Look, for people, we've got a table here and every guest that sits down has to sign a release clause. And Gary Stevenson is the only person that has engraved his name permanently into the desk because he pressed so hard when he was signing
Went through like 2 sheets of paper into the desk.
Yeah.
Etched in. We're going to cut it up. Well, I'm going to cut it up one day and sell that little section.
Yeah, it'd probably be worth a lot of money, but you won't get to keep it because it'll all get taxed. We're joking. So yeah, I don't know, but I don't really often think about fighting our guests.
Not so much. So I kind of want to make them feel comfortable and welcome and learn from them.
Yeah. So T, recently we had a conversation with tax expert Dan Needle, and I think one thing that became very apparent is you're going to have a real big crypto tax bill.
I am.
What are you going to do with the money, mate? Where are you going to put it?
I don't know. Like every year tax season comes around and I'm stressing. I'm like, how much is my bill going to be?
I'll tell you how I do it. What's important for me is that money, that tax money, is completely separate to every other bit of money in my life, because otherwise I start counting it as mine. I start locking it away in the stock market or whatever. So I use a tied instant saver account that's just attached to my business, and I just put the money in there and keep it in there, and that's solely for the tax.
You can just ping it over to tax man when it's tax time.
I just know it's allocated for, and the stress that takes off me is worth its weight in gold.
Every January I'm stressing.
Check that out, mate. We've got a bit here actually about how you can check it out yourselves. I'll let you read it out because you're the best at reading.
I mean, I'm the star reader of the show. If you're a sole trader or company owner, check out Tide. New members can get up to 4% AER variable for 6 months. I say up to because it depends on how much you deposit in your account. The more you save, the higher the rate.
You can get this deal, plus you can get £100 cash back if you fund your Tide Instant Saver account with £5,000 in the first 30 days. You get that by using the code MAKINGMONEY. Terms and conditions apply. The code is Making Money, all one word, and you'll find the full terms and conditions and all details of the offer in the description below. The variable rate is correct as of the 7th of August, 2025.
On to the next one.
Go on then, mate.
Oh, Clickmaker764 says, what were the first shares you bought? Any catastrophes? Any success stories?
Catastrophes.
Catastrophes.
You've got loads of them. I got a load.
Yeah, who's going first?
Well, I did the classic thing that everyone does of, I wanted to invest and I thought investing was day trading and Forex trading. So I opened a dummy account, made like $1,000 on the dummy account. I was like, I'm ready for this. Chart goes up, buy, chart goes down, sell.
Yeah,
and
let me in, and then you use your own money in it.
I probably don't even know what I bought.
Yeah.
I was buying currencies and all sorts, and just, it wasn't loads of money, but it was to me at the time. Lost a few £100, which put me off. I bought businesses throughout the years, even in the recent times that have done badly. Bidstack was, I think they're called Bidstack. They're a company that put adverts inside of games, and it sounded to me like an amazing idea of, they can insert your ads in games. So you're running around Fallout and the billboard is a Louis Vuitton billboard or something, cool. And they can dynamically change them. But just because someone's got a good idea doesn't mean that it's a good company, and that performed pretty badly. So yeah, I still do that now. I still get humbled by, I think, I've got 10% of my money that is like play money.
Play money, yeah.
And I still get humbled by the market.
I started in around 2010, 2009. I was in Durham in uni with you and my flatmate Ollie. We were like, he was like, oh, let's get into some of these stocks. He's like, Rockhopper, it's like a oil exploration company. Bought the shares, they found some oil, it went up. I was like, this is easy, I know what I'm doing. BP had a big oil spill, like I think later that year or like 2011. And I was like, oh, well, I'm sure BP's gonna come back. Bought that, came back. I was like, yeah, I'm a pro, I know what I'm doing. And then my cousins are like, oh, I've got some Nigerian oil companies. Definitely buy these. And I was like, yeah, mate, going to the moon. Bought them. They did not go to the moon. They went to Hades, mate. They went down, down, down. So I was like, okay, interesting. And then I went into that fund. I was like, let me try these funds. So I went into the one that went really bad.
Neil Woodford.
Neil Woodford fund. And I'm like, they sell tobacco. People like to smoke. And I was in uni. I was like, I smoke in uni. And I was like, they sell like pharmaceutical. They invest in pharmaceuticals. I'm like, well, everyone likes drugs, so it's going to make money. And I'm like, and they invest in weapons. I'm like, well, there are a lot of wars going on, so I'm pretty sure that's a good fund. And everyone's
all
like,
the ethical stuff.
yeah.
Right?
And I'm like, hey, people aren't going to stop smoking. They're not going to stop taking medicine, and they're not going to stop going to war. So let me try and make some money in this. And then like the fund just went tits up. I don't know what happened. It was like, I can't even remember, but I just know that I lost money. I lost all of it.
Neil Woodford emailed me the other day.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
Telling me he owes T some money.
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
couple bags, please. Yeah, I don't know. But it all went to like, the whole fund got wound up, and then, I think I got like a little bit of money back, but I'm talking like 30 quid out of like $5,000 or $4,000 or something. So yeah, it wasn't the best. And then that put me off for years. And then I found the crypto, and the rest is history.
Yeah, he emailed me because someone I know introduced us over email, and I was like, oh, it'd be good to get him on the podcasting and give him a bit of a grilling.
Yes.
And be, like, how do you feel, and what do you think of that period? Do you think you were arrogant? All the questions. And then he emailed me back. He didn't reply. So I got introduced, and I said, oh yeah, it'd be great to talk about getting you on the podcast. He didn't reply, and then a month or two later, he emailed me going, sorry, I didn't reply at the time, Damien, really busy, doing nothing. I don't know what he does, but he's not running a fund, is he? But then he was like, I would love to come on. I think there's a commercial I think there's something we could do together. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to really engage in that. So I just left it.
Bring him on.
No, but then I seen he launched some paid for stock picking subscription service, where you can sign up for a private community and he will email you his hot picks. I was like, yeah, I ain't bringing him on to promote that crap.
Bring him on to have an arm wrestle with me.
There's someone we could put you in a box.
Yeah, that's us definitely, mate.
I mean, no, and let's not. I don't think it's right to cite by. Well, no, I would probably say that quite a lot of it was his fault. I think the biggest problem with what he did was he presented the funds as safe income and then bought illiquid companies and changed the mandate of the fund and stuff. I then think there was loads of failings after it with the way it was handled, and people locked out the fund, and then the companies that were allowed to take the fund were allowed to sell the assets for way more than they bought them for. There was just failing after failing. But I would have liked to have had him there and said, go on, tell us your story, in that sense, your side of it. But I don't know if it's even relevant anymore. It was years ago.
Yeah, it feels like a different life.
And sometimes are you giving people a platform to create excuses around something, whereas the world has judged them and moved on? I don't know. Right, next one.
Making Money podcast, congratulations. I can't believe nearly 100 episodes. I've definitely watched most of them, or I've been out on runs where I've listened to most of them as well. So huge congratulations to both of you and the wider team as well, because it takes a big team to make this podcast. Now, question for both of you. After everyone you've interviewed, after all these nearly 100 different people, is there anything that you would change in the way you approach money you're investing now than you did at the start? And it'd be good to get both your perspectives on that one, because T, I know you love your crypto and your trading, and Damien, you're more sticking to the boring stuff, but have you gone a bit wilder like T has with his investing approach? And then for a bonus question, if you were both to get 10 million quid right now, I want to know what you would do with it, what you would invest in, and what you would do with your lives. Would there still be a podcast? Anyway, hopefully here's to the next few hundred. Good luck. I'll see you in the next one.
All right. That's Toby Newbatt. Also, AKA Baby Damo.
Yeah. Damo 2.0.
AKA Mummy Pig. No, he's a good friend of mine. I speak to him most days. I speak to him more than I speak to you. Sorry. I don't know why I'm...
That hurt. I can't... Why would you say that?
It's the booze, mate. It brings out the worst in me. No, I do speak to him most days because he's like a competitor, if you want to call it that. But he works in the same field. He was a guest as well. His episode did really well, which was great. Anyway, questions. So first question was, how is what have you changed after speaking to all these people? And then the second one was, what would you do if you got 10 million quid? Which is, as we know, to make enough for you.
Enough. What have I changed? I guess I've become a lot more kind of intentional with my investing. Before I used to just like kind of swing for the fences, and I'm like, this one's gonna make me a mill. Just going on very high risk assets, a lot of crypto, and then like individual stock picking. Now I'm still in crypto, but I don't invest in like the meme coins anymore. I mean, I do have one, just like, just one for fun. But most of them are like, I invest in Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, XRP, just those four. And then the rest of my money is in like global index funds, LISA. I love it. I'm loving the LISA because when you put the money in and then you see the government, like they've put in like 500 quid or like, I'm like, oh, thank you for that 500 quid. So like you can actually see them contributing when you contribute. So I really like the LISA. So yeah, I think I'm looking more long-term now, investing. Before I was like, how can I make money so I can go on holiday or so I can spend it this year or like yeah, have fun, get as much money in my bank as I can now and then have freedom. But now I'm thinking more long-term for my son, for myself, for my retirement. Yeah.
Okay. We'll come back to the 10 million question in a second, shall we? I think one thing that's changed about how I view the world and the finances through the podcast is my interest in politics. I probably in the past was one of these people that was a bit more towards the angle of, well, they're all dickheads, so leave them to it and I'll do me. Now I see the impact that the politics has on me, the wider country, and those decisions. And just through speaking to really tuned in people on that, it's really helped me form my views around it. I still think they're all dickheads, for the record. I think they're all as bad as each other. But no, like I've become way more interested in that side of things, the policy side of things, and understanding how, the pension policy needs to change or whatever. And I think I've become more confident in my own approach and my own strategies. The amount of people that we've had sit there that go, yeah, but a global investment approach is probably the best thing. I always thought that was the case, but it's quite reassuring to hear it from so many people on all sides of the spectrum. And then I've probably become less obsessed with trying to get rich from investing and more just this idea of just try to outrun inflation and produce a positive return long term and try not to be too sophisticated or special with it. Broad diversification. It's okay if I don't get like 50% a year or whatever, as long as long term I'm tucking away and delivering a return. So I'm probably a bit more balanced in that sense. I spend a lot more money though as well. So I've like broadened it holistically that way. I think in the past, it's that thing of when you discover investing, you think this is the thing that's going to give me freedom and get me rich. And for 10 years of my life, I just sacrificed on my life to throw as much money as I could into investing. Now I think of more, this is the vehicle that's going to be the place I put the money that I generate from my life, which I need to enjoy at the same time as I invest. It's slightly different.
I also, follow up on that. Someone mentioned on the podcast, the best way to make more money is to invest in yourself and your business, or learn a new skill, get a qualification, get a pay rise. So I definitely shifted more from trying to make money doing other things rather than make money myself in my job, podcast, like things that I can control, and then obviously try and grow that with investing, but focusing on working on yourself first. Yeah.
I've also learned that, the wisdom of age and the fact that just because something to me doesn't make sense right now doesn't mean that in 30 years it won't. And, you hear people talking about de-risking and bonds or gold allocations and these other things. And you think, well, maybe my perspective will change on that by the time I get there and I've got a big chunk of money in the market and I'm thinking, I don't want to see this drop 20%. I think we can be too quick to discredit the views of other people as outdated or old. And I think that's been a bit of a learning process for me as well.
Yeah, same like financial advisors at the beginning. I was like, oh, they just take your money. But now I'm like, they're actually really valuable. Same with like mortgage advisors, pension advisors. I learned myself from my accountant, like these people actually do add value. They're not just there to take your money. There's a reason people use accountants for taxes. There's reason people use financial advisors, because they may know more. They can give you information you don't know and make you money or save you money.
Yeah. Okay, so what would you do if you had 10 million quid?
Hey, good stuff. First mil going on Bitcoin immediately, because not financial advice, but I think one day Bitcoin will be $1 million. So I will spend $1 million on Bitcoin. But that's only going to be 10% of my 10 mil. So I'll just tuck that away, hopefully give it to my son when he's older and he'll be like, Dad, you're such a legend. And then put probably like 2 mil in global funds, global index, buy some properties, a couple buy-to-lets, and then obviously keep some cash. Got to keep some cash for like just cash for a rainy day, emergency fund. But I have like maybe 2 mil emergency fund. That's very comfortable, because then you're like, whatever happens.
2 mil emergency fund?
If I've got 10, 2 mil emergency fund. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. For example, my cousin had a terrible car crash in Nigeria, lost the use of her legs. They had to helicopter out of Nigeria into like England, put in a hospital, medical bills, went to America. Like, this has been going on for like 7 years. It's cost hundreds of thousands of pounds. Like, so like, you don't know what's going to happen in life.
Sorry to hear that for you.
Yeah, I know. And like close cousins, the same age as me. So yeah, you don't know what's going to happen in life. So yeah, emergency funds. If I've got 10 mil, make 2 mil my emergency fund.
Okay. I would give a bit to charity. I think if you get
Craig, thanks a lot, mate. Just make me look like an absolute see you next Tuesday.
You're all about that charity, mate.
Charity. Sharon me. Charizard, no, charity.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I'd give a mil or two to charity for sure. I would slap most of it in the stock market, in a global index fund, probably, because I know that would kick off a level of income for me. I would take some time. I'd probably just sit on it. But the question that Toby was asking was, what would you do? And I think at the minute, the process of making content, we are always trying to find ways to give away as much value for free as possible. So I don't want to charge people for the information. But there's a need to make money to keep everything going, because I've not got infinite amounts of cash. I would just run out of money. There's people that need paying across all of the different content verticals, bit of a douchey term, but yeah, the verticals. There's around about 14 people that draw an income off it, yourself included, the people in this room, that kind of thing. So if I had 10 million and I had that in the market, it was kicking out an income, it would allow us all to start thinking about really cool ways to make content that don't have the constraints of money behind them, as in how do we make money out of this so that we can afford to make it? And I think that's quite exciting. I think I would always do the podcast because this is quite a fun thing.
Hell yeah. What
you often see from big creators is once they get rich,
they're like, see ya.
They stop doing the main channel and they do the podcast because the podcast is fun and easier for them. Main channel videos can be quite involved. It might take 8 days to make a video, say. I don't think I would ever stop that, but I would probably go, okay, now money's not an object. What are we doing? And how can we really push some change? How can we, now we've solved the money problem, how can we solve it for the UK in a bigger way? Like push more on the purpose and the mission without the need to pay the bills.
Definitely still podcast, no matter how much we made. Quick question though, since you set me up, how you give to charity currently?
Yes.
Who do you give to?
So I give to victim support. Regularly donate to victim support. I donate to my local food bank. Thank you, Wesley.
Is that what it's called, or was there someone called Wesley?
No, Wesley's the guy who hit me. Cheers, Wes.
Cheers, Wes.
So every time he sends a payment every month, I give it to the local food bank. And then, the victim support are... So when I was attacked, I came home, I made a video, and I got lots of support off the community, both financially and just build you up support. Most people who go through some kind of crime, violent, sexual, these kind of ones where they invade your like safety and space.
And then this leaves lasting effects.
Yeah, they leave. There's the issue is the afterwards where that person feels it's like you've been awoken to a world of, oh, that would never happen to me. Well, it just did. It's that kind of lasting impact. And the police are just not set up to support people, really. They don't. I'm not saying that they're failing in that sense, but they're struggling to police, let alone offer that long-term support. A charity like Victim Support offers that support to victims. So when I got money donated to me on the channel that I didn't need because I've got an emergency fund, it's not 2 million quid, but it was enough. I donated to them and I've continued to make donations to them and they send me lovely letters thanking me. So it's kind of selfish really because I like collecting those letters.
So is that when you started your charity donations?
Yeah, I've always done bits. I top up at McDonald's. I had the 45p.
What McDonald's? I'm out here giving to Save the Children. You're like, you go McDonald's. Yeah.
No, I mean, I've always done bits, but I've tried to make it a regular part of the channel and what I do because it's just one of those things. It makes you feel good about yourself and it means that I can feel good about the business and the impact. And I never miss the money. Yeah. You know, like you give the money and you think, oh, and then like a month later, you're never thinking, oh God, like if only I had that money back. But you have that lasting feeling.
I felt that when I was
like,
a student though. I'm like, I've got like 20 quid left and they're like, and we're taking out your Save the Children and we're taking out like your Oxfam donation. I'm like, and now I've got no money. So yeah, I remember those days when I actually was like, I'm feeling this. But now
I think there's
like,
a time and a place, right?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, when you're a student, you should probably focus on increasing your income and your skills and not skinting yourself. Because actually 20 quid as a student's a lot of money. I would live for 2 weeks on that.
Honestly.
Yeah.
No, you and your dodgy rices you bring to my, like microwave bags of rice you bring to my house.
Oh, yeah. So, whereas when you're in a position, and it's tax efficient to give for a business.
Yeah, you get gift aid.
Yeah, well, and also it's a tax deductible thing for the business, so it's tax efficient. I don't earn money I'm still worse off, but you know, for someone to give from their personal pocket where they've been taxed, they're just handing that money over. For my business to donate money, it's a tax write-off, so that it's not. If I give £1,000, it might only cost £600 in real terms, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of incentives there, and like for example, I sponsor boxing within where I live.
Yeah.
I sponsor boxing events because there's a guy that I do the boxing with, my boxing coach. He's called Jake, and he was a pretty good boxer, and he runs a local gym and he puts on events for lads to have these fights, and they make absolutely no money from them. It costs him money, and I can donate a couple of grand and go to the event, and they're really good. And that just means that lads in my community get an outlet for just a nice place to go and to like demonstrate their skills and to do something pretty cool that they're proud of. And that's an amazing feeling. Yeah. I'm not calling it philanthropy or whatever, but those kind of things I love to do.
Kind of is a little bit.
Yeah.
You're going to document my journey. I'm going over to Nigeria we've got a family charity out there. I'm going in October to go do some, help some kids, play some tennis, build some schools.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
You do the
Check it out on T is Making Money on my Instagram. You can find it there.
We've got a family charity. Who has a family charity?
You will one day. It will be called the Damien Fund or something.
Yeah, no, but that's cool. I mean, I know you do a lot of stuff out there when you go out there in the communities in Nigeria because the inequality out there is massive, isn't it?
It's massive, and a little bit of money. A little bit of the exchange rate is crazy, so
it goes a long way.
It goes a long way, so it can make a big difference.
So, Mr. Akerele, I hear you are a salesman.
Elite salesman, yes.
One of the best, they say?
I've got a little bit of experience in the game, yeah, I could say.
Done a few deals.
I bill.
What would your compliance team say about you?
They would say that I am always nagging them and that essentially I have beef with compliance. I love the team. Compliance slows down all my deals because every time I get to the finish line, they've got to check documents, KYC, GDPR, and it's just a nightmare. It slows the deal down by like 2-3 weeks.
It's always on both sides as well, isn't it? Sometimes it can be block on the other side.
Exactly.
Well, that's where today's sponsor can help.
Indeed. Vanta helps companies of all sizes get secure and compliant fast, and they stay that way.
They do it by automating compliance with over 35 security and privacy frameworks like SOC 2, ISO 27001, and HIPAA.
Yeah, all of them. And this saves businesses so much time and money.
According to a recent IDC study, Vanta customers save over $500,000 a year in costs.
Not bad.
And they also help you complete security questionnaires up to 5 times faster, which is great because everybody hates filling out forms. If you're a business that needs to prove security and compliance, visit vanta.com/making money to sign up for a completely free demo today. Go on, Tamaine, what's your next one?
Love the next question. Why did you start the podcast?
Well. Go on, T. Why did you start the podcast?
I started the podcast because for the clout. I wanted my name to ring out in the streets like Tommy Shelby in the Peaky Blinders. No, actually because I did actually want my name to ring out like Tommy Shelby. I've always been like very impulsive.
You're actually going for this? You were trying to answer this question of why you started the podcast? I was joking. I didn't expect you to try.
No. I had a podcast before.
Yeah, you did.
Definitely was not a successful podcast, but cut my teeth in it.
Different Roots.
Different Roots Radio. We interviewed CEOs about their companies and business and lifestyle.
I want the introduction thing that you did where you emerge from the door and you do the little dance. It's so funny. You do this little spinning round dance and then you do the jazz fingers and then I'm like, I don't know.
We had a very cool intro. You helped me with the intro.
But it was not cool.
It was very cool.
I made you that intro, the one, but like it was more the fact that when you were in your kitchen and you come in and you do your little dances and then you're like, what was going on? It's like some Oompa Loompa shit.
Mate, I'm too tall to be an Oompa Loompa.
Different roots.
Ain't no tall Oompa. You're such a mouth.
So funny.
No, seriously, I just wanted to take life more seriously, I guess. I've always been like Peter Pan. Like I don't get stressed really. I get stressed about the podcast a little bit sometimes.
I remember that conversation because we'll come back to why it started, but I remember calling you and being like, oh, I've got some news for you. And you're like, I've got some news for you as well. And in one conversation, I was like, I'm starting a podcast and I would like you to co-host it with me. And you'll get paid. And then you were like, well, I would like you to be the godfather to my son. And I was like, this is a great conversation.
I remember
it's all in one conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, then why did you start it, Damo?
So I always wanted to start a podcast, but they're expensive and they are time consuming in terms of it takes a lot of people and effort to make a podcast happen, because finding good quality guests and getting them to sit in the seat is a full-time job, doing all the research around them and then the video
Topics.
and editing. There's a lot that goes behind it. Just getting guests is so hard to align schedules, especially the guests that people might want to hear from. They're in demand and they're busy, right? And I've always thought we were coming off the back of that COVID period where everyone did a podcast. Another white boy with a podcast.
Another white boy with a podcast. Crypto, Gym Bros. Another white guy with a podcast.
You remember that? Oh, another white boy with a podcast. That was such a good tune. But everyone was doing them, but they were all doing these kind of Zoom podcasts with that's what we did. Their wired headphones in. And I just thought I would want to do an in-person one because I think the quality of those, I mean, people have kind of nailed it now. And funnily enough, we're starting to do more remote stuff so that we can go international with our guests. But I wanted to do that in person. That ratchets up the cost even more. And then Will, the producer, who everyone met at the start, who has laced us with alcohol at 9 a.m., he sent me an email one time saying, do you want to do a podcast? We're a production team. We have an already successful podcast. We think you're good. We would like to do a podcast with you. And I was like, okay, I would want to do it in person. I would want video, blah, blah, blah. And they were offering to front the cost and put a team on it and do all of that side. So it just seemed like a good time to give it a go. So yeah, that is why. And a long old journey. Along that journey, we got you involved because it was kind of like, have you got someone that you bounce off with that you think would be a good co-host? Enter Tamaine. And we bought the podcast off the production company.
Big.
Yeah. Yeah, we did the pilot episodes, didn't we? In Ali Abdal's house. Yeah. Do you remember?
Man, that was hot.
You didn't even know who Ali Abdal was at the time.
I didn't.
We ended up interviewing him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he didn't even remember us. No. He's like, who are you guys? We've been to your house, mate. I took a shit in your bathroom.
That's literally your trademark.
I take a shit in everyone's
Damo
bathrooms.
goes places and he's like a dog. He just lays his territory. Like, what? He used to walk into my flat in Manchester. The door would open. I'd be in the living room. The door would open, and then I'd hear the bathroom. He wouldn't even come in the living room. The bathroom door would open. It would close. And then he'd come in 5 minutes later. Yeah, sorry, I just took a shit. I'm like, nice to see you too, Damo.
Yeah. You just gotta, like, you know,
Mark your territory.
Yeah, mark your territory. I like to measure the flush in a house.
The flushing power.
Yeah. You want to know good flush? It's a good flush here. They're doing all right. They got that like high tog, like toilet paper.
The details you're going into are ridiculous.
So yeah, I took a shit in Ali Abdul's house and he didn't even remember me. And you broke his orange tree, I'm pretty sure.
What?
He's got
Snitches get stitches.
He's got fake. I mean, actually though, lovely. He is a lovely guy, and
Got a great
they were
flat.
really generous and letting us use that. And we were like, oh, we could use this as a studio space. And they were like, yeah, we never want you to come back. So we had to.
Who clogged up the toilet?
Who broke the orange tree and clogged up the toilet? Yeah, sorry about that. So that's right. And then after that, because we thought we would be using Ali Abdul's studio, we say it's his house. It was kind of like a big flat that he had that was a work office space. And I think he lived there. It was like a dual space. It was big, wasn't it?
Quite a few people in there.
Yeah, there were. But he had like a dedicated podcast studio in there where he did his Deep Dive, which is his podcast. And we thought we were going to use that space. And then when we realized we couldn't, because we clogged the toilet. That's a malicious rumor. I hear. It's because you shoved the orange down there, mate.
I'm trying to hide the evidence.
Yeah. We were then like, what are we going to do? And that's how we landed on here. And now we film in Will's house. So yeah, there we go. That's a brief history of the podcast.
Yeah.
Next question.
Next question is from Jay Connor, who asks, who was your best interview? Kerry Katona.
God, I forgot we even did that.
I know. This is how long we've been going. It feels like a different life.
Kerry Katona.
No, she was
been
funny.
having a little tug, have we? She called you out, mate.
No, she was
so
good.
good.
She was good banter.
Yeah, she was good banter.
Best episode. Who's your best interview? Depends how you define best.
Yeah, like what the best.
They've all got different things.
The one I found one of the most interesting was Lionel Barber, the guy who spoke about Masayoshi's son. Masayoshi's son. Just because, yeah, he gave us feedback about interviewing. He's a guy that's interviewed Vladimir Putin and Obama. So he's like a world-class interviewer. And he gave us good feedback. Stroked our egos a little bit as well, which I liked. You know, offered me a job, which was nice. Didn't offer you one.
Can't afford me, mate.
I can't afford you. It's true. You have to pay rise every month. It's a joke.
That's what they told me in the episode. That was probably my favorite episode. The one we did 2. The second one about how to ask for a pay rise.
Yeah,
I found like really, really valuable. And I think, yes, IOTA.
No, Yota.
Yota Jota. Tron. Yeah, sorry. Yota Tron. Yota Tron. The episode.
He's the best reader and speaker.
I'm not the best with names. Yota Tron, the episode we did about how to get a pay rise, really useful. Used it in the podcast, used it in my job. And it's people don't think about it. And it's like really important, especially that women ask for pay rises less. I think that's really important. But just generally, like it's not an easy thing to do. But if a lot of people feel like they should be paid more, I thought that was really, really valuable.
Yeah, Wayne was the other one. They're both really good episodes, really practical. They're not some of the most watched, but I think they're some of the most valuable.
There you go.
I'll give those a watch if you're at work, because they just really help you understand the process of getting a pay rise. And I don't think people understand that that's like a game of chess.
It's like a
that you need to
science.
play.
Yeah, it's a game of chess,
and you should watch those and see if you can get your money.
Yeah, worst case, you're gonna have the same salary, and then best case, you get your raise.
I think if you
and hopefully it'll come 6 months later. And they're like, okay, not right now, but if you do X, Y, Z, you can get the raise.
If you never ask, they're never really going to give it to you. But if you start asking, eventually they're going to give it you because they're going to be like.
And if you ask every month, eventually they're going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Hey, Damo.
Yeah, I know your tactic.
Hey, Daddy
mate.
Pig.
I know your tactic. Do some research for the episodes first.
I'm just trying to be like you, mate.
Oh,
just
all right.
Freestyling it.
No. I'm able to, mate.
What's your
No, I'm joking.
What's your favorite? I mean, you said, but
Yeah, I like the Lionel Barber one. I like some of the really, like one of the things that I'm most happy or proud of the podcast is we've been able to get people on that I don't think anyone would ever get on. I think in the modern podcast landscape, it's very much about how much of a following do you have, because we want to get you on and we want to get your following to watch our podcast. So that tends to mean that a lot of the people that come on to big podcasts have massive followings. That might be great, but it means that there's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily know how to do social media, that are great thinkers, that don't get a platform. So I really like the episodes where we get the historians on and the academics and these people that deeply think about a topic, but are not necessarily influencers or have a social media presence. Because what you get then is you get really nuanced conversations and detail, and you don't just get people speaking in shorts and sound bites that they know will
You're trying to get clips,
get views and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I couldn't possibly say who my favorite was, but I really do enjoy those academic, the history ones, all of that kind of stuff.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, and I'm happy and proud that that the audience have liked those, and we found a space to give a platform to those people, and we'll keep trying to dig them out.
Oh, the Wooer asked, how tall are you both? Taller than Damien.
Yeah, I'm so glad this has come up, to be fair. I would say we'll stand up right now, but our heads would be out of shot. So
My head would be out of shot.
Yeah, I am 6'2.5".
Oh, tiny.
Well, I think we need some evidence.
This is a little fella.
David went upstairs to put on his bigger heel shoes.
What are you talking about? Look at this guy.
We told him we was getting married.
I'll take my shoes off. I'll take my shoes off. I'll take my shoes off.
Actually.
Oh, no problem here.
We've got the shortest guy in the room doing it.
Oh, yeah.
6'2" and a bit, mate.
Okay, Derek, let's get you and T-Bone.
Look at bending at the bottom there. What you doing?
Yeah, that's good for you, mate.
No, what would be it?
Oh!
What do you measure him at?
Oh, what is that level, Damo?
The hairs.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Give me a read. Flatten your hair.
6'5". I'm not flattening my hair. Aren't you?
6'5".
He's
I'm 6'5", guys. This is official.
I'm looking for a guy in finance.
6'5". 6'5".
Well, people won't have heard any of that, but
Yeah.
I'm 6'2".
I'm 6'5".
You're not 6'5".
I'm
mate.
6'5", you melt. And I don't wear heels like you.
We're both pretty tall. One of the most common things when people recognise me in the street, they go, "Oh, you're tall." I thought you were small.
Yeah. Oh no, your best comment when we were walking down the street and after filming last time, someone's like, "Those two are massive. No one messes with you boys." And David was like, "Yeah, I'm a big boy.
That's right.
I'm Daddy Pig."
You were the one that spotted it and were really happy with yourself.
I'm always happy with myself. Blobby Matt asks, I have an emergency fund. Well, I didn't really ask. I have an emergency fund, which I recently needed to dip into when my car failed its MOT. While slowly filling it back up, I feel like half my expendable income is going into savings as I'm doing this alongside my normal investing. How do you guys keep up the motivation to keep putting money away when you could just blow it on a great weekend? Great question. Get a kid.
That realigns your preferences.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's like changed me from blowing it every weekend.
Because for the first time, it's bigger than you.
Yeah,
It's
I used to
like,
live for the weekend.
yeah,
Once it hits Thursday, I'm like, Thursday's basically Friday. And so I'm just like, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then rest on Sunday. And now I'm like, nah. It's like, it's going in the LISA, it's going in the pension, it's going in investments. And then book a holiday. And I'm like, I'm going to blow my money on that holiday, but like no longer living for the weekend.
I mean, I enjoy a weekend, all of that, but I find real joy out of saving. It feels so good. That makes me happy. So it's hard for me to relate to, oh, saving's a drag. I want to spend it all, because for me, it's the opposite. I feel happy about myself when I save. You know, that makes me feel good about myself.
So I mean, it's important to fill up the emergency fund. Like, it's got to be done.
Does Blobby Matt not think, God, thank God I had that emergency fund?
MOT,
So,
yeah.
you know, celebrate that moment of you adulted that situation.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't have to go on a credit card or whatever, and you didn't go, oh, I wish I hadn't blown the money last week drinking zombies, you know. And like, honestly, I get to a point where through my 20s, I went out every weekend. There was was a period of my life where I was out all weekend, and it all just kind of blurred into one after a while. Just the same bars, having the same conversations, and I got a bit like, I don't know, I'm over
You guys
this.
are different bars, mate. Check out new towns.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not good, and we're going to go out for drinks tonight to celebrate this, and I'm going to really enjoy that. But going out all the time, I mean, he says a good weekend, so obviously I'm extrapolating that to getting smashed.
Yeah, hitting tequila shots.
Yeah. So maybe that's not what they mean. You've got to have experiences and live your life, but. You know, I personally feel great about saving. I think it's really important to define what a good weekend is to you and protect that as part of your expenditure. But for me, as part of the whole living my life, I got a bit sick of going out every weekend and spending money. A good weekend for me now is just sitting at home, not having to do anything, or spending time with my son. Yeah, I think you're full of the good wisdom today, mate. Have a kid, pump a couple of them out.
Yeah, it'll realign your goals. I mean, for me, I definitely understand how he feels, but I trade crypto. It's not a secret. But now is a very nice time because when a bull run, but you know it could end very soon.
Sing while you're winning, don't you?
But now I know. Yeah, once it crashes, I won't talk about crypto for 4 years. Yeah. But like now, what I've learned is that like, I do a trade, and I'm like, I just made like £100. I'll take that £100 out and I'll put it in like my cold storage wallet, and like I've enjoyed watching the wallet grow in value and grow in balance. Same with my LISA. I enjoy like putting the money in and seeing the government put the money in. So I like seeing the balance increase. So saving I don't like, but I like watching the money grow. So every time I put the money in, I like to refresh it and see like the new balance. So and like see the ROI as well. So I think you've got to focus on like the gains. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
Like seeing how my money's grown.
I've been investing consistently probably for over 10 years. And I'm at the point now where in the last week, the market went up and I made thousands of pounds. And that's an amazing feeling of freedom that I think that we had, what was the guest? What was the Australian politician?
Andrew Lee.
We had Andrew Lee on, who is an Australian politician, and we spoke to him about superannuation over there, which is their auto-enrollment scheme. And he said that people became much more interested in their pensions once the pots got bigger. And I think if you're just starting out on your investing journey, it can be hard you don't feel the benefit because you're like, I'm giving up a weekend here just to stick 100 quid in
and
this.
I haven't got anything from it.
But you fast forward and trust the process, and then you're like, holy crap, I got more in stock market returns than I spent this weekend.
Yeah,
it paid for the
good.
weekend.
Yeah, when you're like, I've made more this weekend than I spent, that's a good
Yeah.
point. When I made more this weekend than I spent, then you feel really, really good.
And I think you have set rules. So the things that I've had to approach it the other way of like, how do I make sure that I actually live my life and don't just save every penny that hits my bank account? And things, I have my flat amounts of saving that I want to save. And then anything I earn above that, I 50-50 it. So it's like 50% goes into savings, 50% I have to spend on me, my family, whatever.
Yeah,
you know, and that then just, it's a rule. There's no question in it. So maybe you could do some of that, Blobby Matt.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you remember Mr. Blobby?
Yeah, that's what I can think of when I see the name Blobby.
What a West guy that was.
He was a bad man. He was jokes though. Good vibes. We had some weird kids cartoons and like shows, didn't we?
Go on, we got what time for one more question?
Yeah, let's do it.
So go on, what's the...
Andrea asked, how long does it take to make a typical podcast episode? We always see the finished episode, but then there must be loads involved.
Takes you no time, man.
It takes
just
an
show up.
hour and a half for the episode, about 6 days for the like edits at the end, for like the closing scene when I'm just reading the same thing again and again, trying to get it right. Like the outros.
Yeah,
that takes me forever.
Shit.
That takes me longer than the episode.
Yeah. Okay, let's run you through a process. So we'll show you, I'll spin the camera around in a minute so you can see what's behind the scenes as well, because I think that's interesting. But Ruth, how long does it take to get a guest? Shout. So
Wow. Like, how long is a piece of string? Sometimes not long, sometimes months and months just to organise it all.
You're spinning a lot of plates at once, aren't you? And how long do you take researching each guest to deliver the prep and all of that stuff?
I do, on average, I'd say like a day per guest minimum to read through, do the brief,
Hi, Ramin. Ramin's just turned up.
Ramin
You can
in
sit
the
down.
building.
We're finishing off the thing, but it's all relaxed. You can sit down at the back. Don't worry. You're a friend of the podcast.
And then we chat through, and then we edit at the end. The edit.
Ben, how long does it take to edit? You're the editor.
From first cut to finish, probably 3 days
Yeah.
per episode. So
Wow.
It takes ages to edit out all of T's deep breaths.
Apparently, I'm a heavy breather.
Yeah. Well, you're more on the commercial side, so you're like sponsorship and making sure that we can pay the bills. What kind of process is it around sponsors? How long does that take? Because I think when people think about the podcast, they don't think that that's the thing that pays for it, basically.
Yeah, I think months, basically, for months in advance that you want to get a sponsor. That's because of, brands, their timelines and all of that. Yeah. It's normally like 3 months per sponsor.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of effort. And then obviously we have to prepare for the podcast episodes themselves. I would say I'd like to give at least 4 to 5 hours per episode to read through Ruth's notes, because we do prep calls as well. So every guest will try, if we can, to have a conversation with them beforehand so that we can get an idea of what we want to talk about. There's books to read, so
Or listen to.
Audible.
I love Audible.
Audible's a cheat code for us. You get really good at listening to a book on 1.75 speed.
And then you get
So
it.
that you can
Get through
just
it quickly.
reduce it down a bit. But it's good to actually read the book. The amount of times that guests have gone, "Oh, you actually read the book," because a lot of people don't. So we try to read the books. But yeah, 4 or 5 hours, and we film 3 or 4 episodes in a day over 2 days. So we'll do 6 episodes typically over a 2-day period.
7.
6 or 7, yeah, once every 6 weeks. So yeah, it's constantly turning.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, sometimes I lose my voice after filming. But normally it's,
Nothing to do with the beers, mate.
and the shouting in the pub, maybe might add to it a little bit.
Yeah. And then in the room, we've got 3 cameras. We've got a load of mics. We've got a load of lights. I'll spin the camera around, actually. You'll see me sat in my shorts because it's boiling in here. Is it this camera I can turn?
that little knob at the back of the.
And this is when the camera goes left.
Not at the back.
Yes,
And then
yeah,
you just
that.
turn it.
Just loosen that and then it will spin.
So
Should have spin.
we've got a new time here. Yeah, mate. Destroy the face. Oh, this is harder than it looks.
That's Ben.
There's Ben. Hello, mate.
That's Ruth.
Do you want to punch
That's
out?
rude. She's not by the camera.
Punch out.
Punch out.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, there's
Oh,
William.
there it is.
William.
Hello.
We have the front door open to get a draft. And there's Roman. at the
That's
back.
Roman.
That's the green room at the back. That's okay. There we go. Thank you very much.
Damon's big mug in the camera.